What's going on YouTube? It's JSauce back again with another video, and today we have FBL Week 1 versus Ghost. Now, this is the start of Season 12, and we are in Guardian Division, which is a brand new division. It sits right in the middle. It's the fourth out of 7 divisions, and we're hoping to make a name for ourselves. Last season, I didn't finish it out on YouTube. I had some health difficulties, but we did make it in playoffs with our Sun team, unfortunately falling to Corey in the second round. The same guy who counter Weaviled us. So we're looking to come back and hopefully compete for a chip this season. Go watch the draft recap video if you haven't already. This team is kind of nasty. And with that being said, let's get into the team building. As per usual, the matchup will be in the bottom right hand of your screen. I forgot to touch on it earlier. I'm sorry for the quality of the mic audio this week. It's not that great, and hopefully it gets better over the season. I'm currently in the stage of moving out of my apartment, so that's fun. It kind of leaves me bare bones, but looking at this matchup, first thing I notice is that Terapagos and Terra Urshifu are kind of douchebags, but they might not even be the most threatening thing to my team. I kind of believe that's Terra Mamoswine. I think with Terra, if you Terra ground it, my team gets schmixoed by it because Decidueye is not that good this matchup, other than like maybe doing a little bit to Terapagos. It's just kind of a sitting duck, or more of a sitting owl, I guess. I saw a set that could do severe damage in the late game, and my whole mantra during the draft recap was that I was gonna out offense all of my opponents, and damn it, we're gonna try. So we're rocking Terra Fairy Iron Boulder this week, a defensive Terra SD set with 3 coverage moves that hit his entire team. I believe he's going to bring Terapagos and Urshifu because they're goated. Tinkaton's one of the best, if not the best, Darkrai check in the game. Slowking checks Keldeo very well and can do stuff to Dragonite and Heatran. Mamoswine's a menace, and then I believe he brings one of Raikou and Weezing, depending on what else he'd want to check. I think my guess would be it is Levitate Weezing, because Sandy Shocks is a little bit of a menace this matchup, but that's just me. And then I'm going to disrespect this Noivern speed tier, and I'm going to get that speed boost and just outspeed the the Raikou. And I have put in the 72 in defense just so Urshifu does a little bit less to me, because this is my primary resist. It's got better defense stats than something like Sylveon would. And it may not live a poison jab, but it takes less from Sucker Punch, at least, or Banded Wicked Blow. I don't expect it to 1v1 or anything. But with the booster energy, I can at least outspeed Scarf, and I'll be the fastest thing on the field, or at least I should be. And we're doing Avatar: The Last Airbender nicknames this season, so Iron Boulder is Toph, of course, my queen, my favorite character in the show. And next up, I want to bring Darkrai this week. Will-O-Wisp felt so good into Ghost's team. I just felt like I had to bring Darkrai. Some utility set. Tinkaton was a little bit of an issue, so we're bringing Nock and Willow to just try to cripple the whole team down. Also reveals, maybe what type of set Mamoswine or Tarap is running. If I can get a burn off on Urshifu, then that's amazing, especially like maybe turn 1. That would be awesome. And then on top of that, I have Confused Ray. This was originally supposed to be Hypnosis, but Confused Ray is 100% accurate, which I didn't know. That seemed pretty cool. This was also going to be a fighting move, but I decided I'd rather get a knockoff Will-O-Wisp or Confuse Ray instead of um, potential for a Focus Blast or a Brick Break or something like that for Tarap and Urshifu. And then finally, we have Taunt, just because stops Tinkaton from doing much. It can stop Terapagos from setting up, Slowking from getting out, Wheezing from putting up Toxic Spikes. Taunt can do a lot this matchup. And we're bringing in Standard Smogon Spread. I want to be the fastest thing on the field while being able to take the most hits possible. And then A doesn't really matter where it goes. Maybe it'll change a knockoff roll or two. And then, of course, Darkrai has to be Yue. If you watch the anime, you know that she is literally the moon. And while I'm going down the offense path, I kinda just have to bring Keldeo. I have to mention Keldeo. He's here to just run Choice Scarf and flip turn out. I mean, he'll bait out this Slowking every single time, and that's fine to me. I don't mind that. But if Slowking dies early or doesn't come, Scarf Keldeo goes insane. I only need 172 plus, and then I put the rest in defense once again for this Urshifu and for Mamoswine, because again, these guys kind of scare me, and I'm not trying to lose to them. So if I lose to something like Terapagos because I didn't put my EVs in HP, then that's on me personally. But you already know what it is. Big Sokka. And yeah, outside of the Slowking, which to be fair is one of the best Keldeo checks to walk the planet, which I can at least flip turn on it now, thank God. Scarf Terapagos just goes nuts. Strangely, this looked like a really good Grafaiai game, and I'm really glad because it was my 4-pointer. It's a second to last pick. I grabbed it for the sake of having a grounded poison, but Prankster looks kind of insane this game. If I can run Black Sludge to get maximum healing, and then Super Fang will cut anything's HP in half. This is really nice for Terapagos, really nice for Tinkaton and Wheezing. And it's just good because it'll do more than what my secondary attack, which is going to be Gunk Shot, will do. And this week, instead of U-Turn, we're bringing in Parting Shot. And then to round it all out, we have Toxic, which is what I will probably use on Terapagos or Slowking. I did want to bring up that Grafaiai looks extremely good because it's Dark type can Terra. Now I don't know if it will, or if it'll Terra outside its Dark type, but if it does, then I can just freely spam whatever move I want with Grafaiai. Also, if he tries to Toxic Spike me with Wheezing, which I can definitely see being a possibility for a Scarf Urshi cleanup or Ice Shard Mamo cleanup, then this would be really nice. And I decided to run Grafaiai with, max HP, only enough speed to outspeed the Urshifu, which is 176 Jolly. And then again, where do you think the rest goes? The rest goes in defense, because it kind of has to. Now, maybe this one could have been Inspadev, since it's kind of there for Terapagos a little bit more than Urshifu, but it doesn't matter. We have Momo on the squad. Just felt very fitting. Next up, we have our other Terra Captain. We're rocking Sandy Shocks this week. Sandy Shocka, just running Choice Scarf on it. Terra Electric, because their ground type is Mamoswine, and Mamoswine can and might Terra out of its ground type for a more favorable defensive type, or even just an ice type, because I don't really have great switch-ins to those. So I'm running Choice Scarf. Also, I can outspeed Choice Scarf or Shifu, and a +1 Terapagos if I need to. Rockin' Earth Power, Volt Switch, Flash Cannon because it does super effective damage to Mamoswine, and then as well as Thunderbolt. Terra Electric, I just get more power on Volt Switch and Thunderbolt, which is super nice. And then, yeah, I just need to be able to outspeed this Urshifu, so I can run 228, put the rest in defense for some sucker punches, and bam, we have King Boomy. I don't see King Boomy doing anything super special because the Choice Scarf is kind of needed, in my opinion. And I'm going to have to get some 50-50s right between Mamoswine and Levitate Weezing, which is a little bit annoying. And like Raikou is especially fat, so, and has Scald, so if it's got like a Shuka Berry, then I'm in danger. But oh well. Lastly, we have Dragonite, and I was originally going to be banded, but I decided that I just want to be heavy duty boots and keep my multi-scale, because that's likely what the opposing Terapagos is going to be doing. We're rocking Dragon Dance, we're rocking Extreme Speed, Dragon Claw, and finally Earthquake for that pesky Tinkaton. Banded would be really nice for Scarf Shifu, Scarf Mamoswine, but I'm able to kind of just cope and hope that I get a Dragon Dance up, and with this EV spread, I'm able to outspeed all of his Pokemon at +1. If I'm 232 Adamant. Now, I will say the one downside to this is that I can't speed tie Mamoswine, which is a little bit of a bummer. But honestly, Mamoswine kind of destroys me anyways. And then this is obviously Appa. Not a Sky Bison per se, but he just gives Appa energy. With that being said, the team building's all done. Let's get into week 1 versus Ghost. Alright, so here it is, week 1 versus Ghost, and as you can see, there's a Pokemon over there that wasn't on my spreadsheet, and that's Weezing Galar. Apparently, I was so excited to prep for this match after my draft that I put the wrong Weezing form in, and now Dragonite is kind of gooped. Yeah, I didn't account for that, and it stops a lot of what I want to do. It's just not looking good. Thankfully, I didn't bring an offensive Darkrai set, or else it really would have been cooked, but it's going to be one of the more annoying pieces to take down. You can't see it over on the side. Urshifu's Terra Dark, Mamoswine's Terra Ghost. I presume for Dragonite's E-Speed and Keldio's Vacuum Wave, that just makes a lot of sense. And good defensive Terra for my opponent. Now, I'm Sash. I'm leading off with Darkrai 100 types out of 100. I didn't want to break my Focus Sash off a Strange Steam turn 1. Now, do I think a Toxic Spike could be coming? Yes. But I have a Grafaiai, so I don't want to risk clicking I don't want to risk clicking Taunt just to take 60% damage. Also, we know that this is a Levitate Weezing because if you watch it come in, Neutralizing Gas or Misty Terrain does not pop off. I go Grafaiai anyways because I get Super Fang. As Toxic Spikes do get set up, thank God I brought my Grafaiai this week. Mamoswine comes in, takes 50% from Super Fang. Zai Parting Shot out into my Keldeo because it resists Ice move and doesn't take a lot from a -1 ground move, but it's already taken 30% from this stupid Toxic Spikes and stuff. Now I just double into Darkrai as they go into the Wheezing, and I don't want to deal with Toxic Spikes the rest of the game. So I taunt here, and I go into Sandy Shocks on a switch. I was expecting a Strange Steam there, which is why I didn't knock off. If I clicked knock off on that turn, got rid of this thing's items, that would have been absolutely massive. Cue the ninja music. But I just Thunderbolt here and see what he wants to do. No Terra Dark Wicked Blow, thankfully. I didn't expect a hard switch into Mamoswine. I figured if he was Scarf, he was clicking U-turn to go into Mamoswine. If he's Scarf, then he knows I'm Scarf, which is very bad. And Mamoswine does come in, so that lets me know that he probably is Scarf. Now, granted, Mamoswine is the best switch-in on this team anyways, but I would still think that this Urshifu's Scarf, and he knows that I'm Scarf now. But I did very good chip. It took 65%. I just go into Keldeo on another Icicle Crash. I wonder if he's trying to catch this Dragonite on switch-in or what, but Keldeo's down to 30%, which is not good. I just flip turn on out once again. Sandy Shocks comes in. Now, I know it's obviously Levitate, but I click Flash Can here because it kills this. It kills Mamoswine. Maybe this was too obvious of a play. I didn't really have another play to make because Darkrai can't hit it. And neither can Dragonite really. I didn't want to risk Iron Boulder getting burnt by Willow. So I decided to put a little pressure on. Raikou comes in, eats the Flash Cannon. So I have to switch out here. I believe I sacked the Keldeo. Yep, there it is. I'm just glad it wasn't Calm Mind. If that was Calm Mind, because it's got recovery, or it's got leftovers. If that was Calm Mind, I was pretty cooked. So Darkrai comes in. I knock off the Black Sludge, as I predicted that they'd predict that I would go for Taunt, and I was right. As I Shimon them, I go into Iron Boulder now. I'm just praying that I don't get poisoned or confused, as I can get a free Sword Stance. Now, I didn't know what the Slowking was going to do to me. I thought that a Scald may be incoming, but it was far more devious. It was a Thunder Wave to the Dome. Goes Urshifu, and at this point, I'm just like, if you have Poison Jab, you've got Poison Jab. And I click Terra Blast, Zen Headbutt into the Wheezing, which was very dangerous because a double into Urshifu definitely could have came out scouting for Zen Headbutt, but it's whatever. Now Urshifu's out again, and I wanted to predict the Poison Jab to sack Darkrai, but I wasn't about that life. Sandy Shocks can come in pretty easily and just click Earth Power. There's no resistances, and everything takes a crap ton of damage. So that's a few for Sandy Shocks. Now, of course, the big threat is in Rapid Spins, but my whole goal here with Grafaiai is to Toxic this thing and stall it out. I can Toxic, I can Super Fang. At this point, it's faster than me. I Parting Shot to lower its damage output, go into Darkrai, sack, and do the same song and dance until it's dead. It's strange ice beam, but I mean, I guess it makes a little sense, maybe trying to catch this Dragonite Lacken. But yeah, I lower its attacks once again. I'm praying not to get crit. Grafaiai comes on in and lives this Starstorm, and thank God hits the gunk shot and dies. That was scary. I'm glad it happened that way because that was the only way I planned to beat Terapagos, because that Pokemon's literally broken. I just got 4 kills with it the other night. It's at 7 kills, 0 deaths in 2 games. There's a reason I wanted to pick this Pokemon this league. Anyways, valiant effort on Grafaiai's part to get a Toxic up before dying to an Ice Shard. Now, I thought at this point that maybe this Mamoswine was banded or even Choice Scarf. So my dumbass, instead of clicking E-Speed into Terra Ghost, potential Terra Ghost, I decided that I was going to click Dragon Claw, because then I could E-Speed afterwards. So I believe that this is Choice, and a Choice banded Ice Shard into Ice Shard again without multi-scale killed me, and if I E-Speed, I gooped myself. So I decided to click Dragon Claw, but he was not Scarf, and that was very bad for me. I made a blunder. I think the play was to always E-Speed there anyways, and even if I lose the 50-50, Sandy Shocks can come in and Earth Power and do its shenanigans, but yeah, things are looking dire. That was a pretty good roll in his hands because he ended up being adamant. If he was Jolly, that roll was a lot more favorable for me. But he clicks Ice Shard, it's only doing 50, so it's a good thing he wasn't banded. If he was banded and made the Terra Ghost play, Ice Shard would have killed me there. So I think there's an argument to be made that I made the right call. There's a situation in which he wins that if he was banded. Because I didn't do the calcs earlier versus Keldeo, I just trusted. And no Sucker Punch on the Choice Scarf for Shifu. That's what ended up being. That's what I was praying for. I saw 2 of its moves. Saw it was Terra Dark, so I assumed Wicked Blow over Sucker Punch, and then Close Combat just made the most sense to me. Just pretty standard set overall, and can't say mine was anything special either. But we end up just narrowly getting the Week 1 victory versus Ghost. GG to my boy. That was extremely scary, especially when you don't prep for the right Pokemon. Shout out Iron Bowler, shout out Sandy Shocks for surpassing all expectations I had, and really shout out Grafaiai, the best 4-pointer in the league, already proving his worth. With that being said, my name's JSauce. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you guys for FBL Week 2. Peace.